Alrighty, I'm going to be reading Cities of Safety. Alright. When the Lord your God has cut off the nations whose land the Lord your God is giving you, and you dispossess them and dwell in their cities and in their houses, you shall separate 3 cities for yourself in the midst of your land, which the Lord your God is giving you to possess. You shall prepare roads for yourself, and divide into 3 parts the territory of your land, which the Lord your God is giving you to inherit, that any manslayer may flee there. And this is the case of the manslayer who flees there, that he may live. Whoever kills his neighbor unintentionally, not having hated him in time past, as when a man goes to the woods with his neighbor to cut timber, and his hand swings a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies, he shall flee to one of these cities and live. So, it's accidental. It's not like I'm going to purposely try and kill you. It's, oh my God, this happened. Okay. Lest the avenger of blood, while his anger is hot. So even in accidents, sometimes people are mad. I found out recently, actually, in a video, that, forgive me if I get some of this wrong. It's been a while, but it's recent, but not like yesterday recent. I slept since then. Okay. So, but to the best of my knowledge, this is how the story goes. So Biden's wife and I think it was one of the sons a long time ago, years ago, got hit. It was a total accident. It wasn't this guy's fault. It was a total accident. And his truck hit their car. And the kid died. And the guy got out and he tried to resuscitate. He tried to do everything he could to save the kid's life. It wasn't like he just hit him and ran, okay? And like I said, it wasn't even his fault. But still, that guy lives with that even to this day. I think he finally died, but in the video, his daughter was saying that, like, Christmas was really hard for him because he thought about Biden being without his son, and Biden's still angry over that. Even though it was not this guy's fault, it was an accident, a pure freak accident, Biden is still mad because he lost his son. So even in an accident situation, people can still be mad because when a tragedy happens, it's human nature. We want to blame somebody. We want to say it has to be someone's fault. It couldn't have just happened, and sometimes things do just happen. But, people, we want to blame. We want to blame somebody. And so that guy, had to be the one to blame. And so, Biden, even to this day, still kind of mentions that. And, but the guy, like I said, he mentions it kind of like it's the guy's fault. Because in his heart, he wants to blame that guy because he feels like if that guy's truck didn't hit the car, then his son will be alive. But, like I said, it was a freak accident. It wasn't really anybody's fault. It was just one of those things, and I feel sorry for him. I pray for Biden in that because I've never lost a child. I hope to God I never do. I feel sorry for anybody, even if they're my worst enemy, okay, and they've lost a child, I feel for them because that is the worst. That is the worst thing anybody can go through in life. When you lose your parents, it's hard, but you expect someday it's going to happen, so you're a little more prepared. When you lose a child, you expect a child to bury you. Now you bury your child. So, anyway, moving on. Lest the avenger of blood, while his anger is hot, pursue the manslayer and overtake him, because the way is long, and kill him, though he was not deserving of death, since he had not hated the victim in time past. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall separate 3 cities for yourself. Now if the Lord your God enlarges your territory, as he swore to your fathers, and gives you the land which he promised to give to your fathers, and if you keep all these commandments and do them which I command you today, to love the Lord your God and to walk always in his ways. That is one of my husband's verses. It's Micah 6:8. I've told you, O man, the Lord requires of you to seek justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with thy God. Then you shall add 3 more cities for yourself besides these 3, lest innocent blood be shed in the midst of your land, which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and thus guilt of bloodshed be upon you. But if anyone hates his neighbor, lies in wait for him, rises against him, and strikes him mortally, so that he dies, and he flees to one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and bring him from there, and deliver him over to the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. So if he's like, I'm going to kill you on purpose, and then I'm going to turn around and flee to these cities so I can survive. No. They're going to go find him, drag him out, and say, no, you did this on purpose. You're gone. So, your eye shall not pity him, but you shall put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with you. You shall not remove your neighbor's landmark, which the men of old have set, in your inheritance, which you will inherit in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. 1 witness shall not rise against a man concerning any iniquity or any sin that he commits. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the matter shall be established. So that's in the situation of, somebody trying to lie and say, oh, so-and-so did this. It's kind of like, say you're a teacher, all right, and one student says, hey, so-and-so did this, and the other one says, no, I didn't. Well, how do you prove it? Okay. If you have any witnesses around that saw what happened, they can say, well, this is what I saw, and this is what happened. Okay, it's like a situation kind of like that, okay? For an example. If a false witness rises against any man to testify against him of wrongdoing, then both men in the controversy shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges who serve in those days. And the judges shall make careful inquiry. Okay, careful inquiry. They're not just jumping the gun and saying, okay, I know what this will happen. They're like, let's determine what happened, okay? And indeed, if the witness is a false witness who has testified falsely against his brother, then you shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother. So, that's a big warning for false witnesses. Like, you want this happening to you? You better not lie and say that somebody else did this to you, kind of thing. So you shall put away the evil from among you. And let me pause there too for a minute. I love watching Life Below Zero. That's one of my favorite shows. How people can survive in Alaska in the freaking cold weather like that. Amazing. Okay. This one family that was on there, the dad, he went to jail because he actually falsely accused an officer. Because there was witnesses around that saw what happened. And he tried to say, oh, the officer was going to pull his gun on me. The officer was going to do this. The officer did this and this. The officer didn't do any of that. The officer was just, because they were causing a ruckus. And the officer asked him nicely several times to leave. And they didn't. Okay. So that's why on the show he was in jail for a while. That's why. So, you falsely accuse somebody, that's jail time. You don't say somebody did something when they didn't do it. If they did it and it's proved, they go to jail, good. But just saying, oh, because I don't like them, I'm going to say they did something. That's not good. And those who remain shall hear and fear, and hereafter they shall not again commit such evil among you. Because they'll see the example and they'll go, oh, that person did that and look what happened to him. I better not do that. It's kind of like, I always learned from other people's mistakes. Not many people do that. A lot of people have to learn from their own mistakes. I learned from other people's mistakes. I would watch people and see what they did. And if they made a stupid choice, somebody else I was watching, and they got in trouble, then I'm like, I'm not doing that. Why am I going to do that? But some people, they'll see somebody do something stupid, and get in trouble for it, and they'll turn around and do the exact same thing. It's like, are you serious? Like, you saw what happened to them? You want that to happen to you? You want to get in trouble, you know? But you can tell kind of, you know, who's smarter and who's not so smart by how people learn. If people learn by watching others and adjusting what they do, that's intelligence. Okay? People that just follow along the crowd and do whatever everybody else does just because they do it, that's not really smart. That's not really intelligent. Especially if you see people getting in trouble. And then you're like, oh, okay. You know, I mean, making wrong decisions, okay? You can get in trouble for doing the right thing too, okay? And we'll get into that later. But what I'm talking about is people doing the wrong thing. And then you see it and you turn around and do the same thing and you expect a different result to happen is not going to happen, okay? Your eyes shall not pity. Life shall be for life. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So, and that's what it was. So, but there was cities of safety where if somebody accidentally, you know, unintentionally hurt somebody, okay, I think they call it manslaughter now. I don't know. I'm not super privy on all that, but, you know, if you accidentally, you know, you're not in that time, okay, not talking right now, but in that time, hurt somebody, kill somebody, like it gave the example, you know, you're swinging the axe, you all are friends, you're getting along great, you're swinging the axe, the head comes off the handle, hits him in the head, kills him. Okay. Well, the family member might think, oh, you did it on purpose, and just because they have to blame somebody, like I just went in the whole other spiel, you know, have to blame somebody. So, but accidents do happen. Things do happen that, you know, nobody intended for anything. I mean, you could be driving down the road and somebody else could be coming the opposite direction. And they could have a medical emergency. They may not be drunk. They might have a medical emergency and veer into your lane and hit you head on. And then you might die, or your family member might die. You know, who knows? You might blame that person and be like, oh, you know, how they just ran into me. You might assume they're drunk or something. And which, this day and age, a lot of people do drive drunk. So, you know, it's, you know, an easy thing to assume, but, you know, in that situation, that's an accident. That person was not intending to harm or kill. That person was just driving, had some sort of medical emergency. Maybe they passed out behind the wheel and hit you, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, there would be these cities that they can go in that situation where they could be safe. So that way, that family member could not come and attack them and kill them, you know, because let's face it, people get angry, you know, people get mad real easy, especially nowadays. People get mad over nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. You could be doing nothing wrong and they could be mad. There was one time I was turning into Walmart. I was in the left turn lane and, you know, I was waiting for the oncoming traffic to have a break in, you know, a little gap so I could get in there. And I was just sitting there, minding my own business, not doing anything wrong. And this guy comes by and honks at me. And I'm like thinking, you're in your lane, I'm in my lane, I didn't do anything to you, and here you are honking at me. I'm trying to turn left. I have nothing to do with what you're doing over here. And you have nothing to do with what I'm doing over here. So what is your deal? And that guy, who knows? He could have been drunk. He could have been angry, had a bad day, a bad life maybe, because he probably made a lot of bad decisions in his life. And, you know, a lot of times people, when they have a bad life, sometimes it could be circumstantial, like something happened to their child or something like that. But sometimes they just choose to have a bad life. Hi, Courtney, my doggy. Sometimes they choose to have a bad life. They wake up, they go miserable. When I worked at Walmart, there was this one dude. He would go through my line all the time. And, you know, I'd always say, how you doing and stuff, you know, smile and try to be nice and friendly, right? You know, because you don't know how people's days go. And sometimes a smile can brighten somebody's day. And he'd go, terrible. And I'd be like, oh, I hope it gets better. It won't. And I thought, oh, no, not with that attitude. I mean, if you don't want it to be good, then it's not going to be good, you know. I mean, you want your life to be terrible and every day to be terrible, and it's going to be terrible. But if you wake up and go, I'm going to try to make the best of today, because what if there's no tomorrow? You might not get tomorrow. You might just get today. You might not even get the whole day. Okay? Some people, they go to work, they think, I'm going to go home and have dinner with their family. They might not make it home. They might get in a car accident on the way home. You never know what's going to happen. So, I mean, this way you have to enjoy every day, because you don't know. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not even guaranteed the next breath. I could have a heart attack right now and just fall over. And y'all be like, whoa, okay, so she gone. I mean, God could take me out of the world whenever he chooses to. He's the author of my life. He knows when I'm going to go. I don't. I probably don't want to know. But, he knows. So, just enjoy every day that you get, every breath that you get, enjoy it. Because really it's too short. It really is too short. Even if, one gal in church, she is going to be 109 years old. I would love to make it to 109. I think it's wonderful. But you know what? I'm happy for every breath that I get. I wasn't supposed to be here 24 hours. I told you all this before. I wasn't supposed to be here 24 hours when I was born. Doctors told my parents she has 24 hours to live, and that's it. I'm going to be 39 November 20th. So when I turn 39, I'm only going to have 28 more years till I retire. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you have to enjoy life, have fun with it, be thankful, So, anyway, I'm going to let y'all go and enjoy. Thumbs up.